To me, God is cold. You could say that. I think of the cold as a noble force. It's just helping me. It's training me. It's bringing me back to the inner nature the way it was meant to be. And this way I do not only endure the cold, I love the cold.
We live in a world where there's all kinds of false healers and fake alternative medicine programs you can sign up for. It's a rare moment in history when someone comes along who can perform real miracles with real evidence to back them up. Wim Hof has defied logic time and time again, and always under scientific scrutiny. He holds the world record for being able to be submerged in ice for almost 2 hours without his core body temperature changing. He's climbed Mount Everest in nothing but a pair of shorts and ran a marathon in the desert without drinking any water. He's even proven in a laboratory setting that he can withstand illnesses using the power of his mind. But he's not a freak of nature. According to Wim, anyone can do what he can do. They just have to learn his method, the Wim Hof method. Using a combination of cold immersion, breathing techniques, and mental focus, anyone can accomplish feats that were previously thought to be impossible.
De vraag natuurlijk aan deze tafel is, kunnen wij dat ook wat u kunt? Ja, en ik ben nu in de staat om op kamertemperatuur mensen, gewoon normale mensen, middels relatief makkelijke technieken in een relatief korte tijd, minder dan een week, om daar ook het immuunsysteem te leren beïnvloeden.
We were skeptical, so Wim invited us to take a crash course in his method and see just how easy it is to become superhuman.
We first met Wim on his houseboat in Holland, where he began to teach our whole crew the basics of cold immersion. Growing up in the 21st century, we're naturally skeptical of everything we read on the internet. But to put Wim's method to the test, we would have to suspend our disbelief, because no true miracle can be accomplished without some faith. In this case, the miracle would supposedly involve the crew and I taking off our clothes and climbing to the top of the freezing cold Mount Śnieżka in Poland. But before that, our training began in the canals of Amsterdam.
So while I'm climbing the mountain, if they haven't done the training, then they'll be screwed, basically.
Yes, and the film too.
Yeah.
We are going to start with the breathing, and you will see feeling is understanding. And later on we can dig in all kinds of scientific literature and readings and comparisons and statistics and all that. We don't need it. You are going to feel it. We are pioneers. And but fully in. Okay, just go on. No thinking, just feel. Your head is becoming lightheaded.
Wim was going to teach us how to endure the cold like him. But first, we had to learn the basics. Wim told us to spend 1 minute breathing in more air than we let out. Then he instructed us to take one last breath and hold it. By using his technique, we were able to hold our breath for much longer than usual. I didn't really know what was going on, but my body was doing things it had never done before, and I was pretty freaked out, but also very curious as to where this would take me. It was like I was going through some kind of second puberty, where instead of becoming an adult, I was becoming a superhuman.
First round 217 for Matt. Crazy, yeah?
Whoa.
It's something, yeah? You're still?
I just stopped because I wanted to listen,
Okay.
but I was still
Good.
My whole body was just kind of like tingling, and then when you said to to stop breathing just didn't seem like I had the need to breathe at all. It's really amazing. Who are you? Who are you? I mean, I can't argue with the results. You've done things that no one's ever done before. But there have been hundreds of people throughout history in the past 4,000 years who have claimed to be able to do all sorts of miracles by controlling their body using the power of meditation and breathing. What makes you different? Is it that you're the first one who can actually do it?
I'm absolutely not the first one who is able to do this, but I am the first one to bring it to science and to take away the speculation around it.
What was your life like before you became the Iceman?
And actually, I was a father of 4 kids, and bringing them up alone, because my wife accidented in '95.
So that kind of like adversity and sadness maybe motivated you to
Oh yes.
and inspire yourself in the same way a lot of people who do
Yes,
your
sadness is a deep trigger. Where I got peace was in these breathing exercises. Swimming outside in the cold. The cold is merciless but righteous as well.
So Wim's just told me to get into my shorts, which can't be a good sign because it means that we're gonna get into the water. Wim's already shirtless, so...
Scared, shirtless.
Scared shirtless. Just chill out, man.
All right, yeah. Right up.
Oh boy.
Oh, let nature go within you.
Breathe, motherfucker! Woo! That is some cold Amsterdam Canal December water.
Keep on silently, witness, witness, witness. You're going just fine. You're going the way I know it naturally goes. Well. Okay, Daisy.
I don't feel cold at all. I feel like if you keep relaxed and you stay in there, you can do it forever like this guy right here. Look at this madman. So now our producer has to go in as well because she's gonna need to be there when we do this. So good luck, Daisy.
You can come in too. There you are. Hello. Take it easy.
You know, people think I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, but not because of my breathing techniques. Not because of my cold water swimming. Not because of my being fearless in extreme challenges. The first time I went under the ice, water is as sharp as needles. I saw this as a big, huge, sharp diamond. At 35 meters, I lost sight because the retina, it froze. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't breathe, of course. And then my consciousness succumbed into a lower consciousness. This is survival. I do not fear death. I fear not to live fully. If I live fully, I'm not into death. I'm living.
It isn't all about breaking records. Wim's mission is to use his body as a laboratory to revolutionize our understanding of physiology. In 2011, he was injected with a bacterial endotoxin in an experiment that challenged our understanding of the nervous system. In normal humans, the injection should cause a strong immune response, leading to fever, chills, and headaches, but not in Wim. It appeared that he was somehow able to suppress his immune response by making his body secrete adrenaline, suggesting that his method can allow us to influence our immune system at will. Scientists thought he might just be a freak of nature, so to further prove this theory, they performed the same experiment on 12 subjects Wim had trained in Poland, and the same thing happened.
Normally, it's very difficult to increase your adrenaline levels by your own will. Adrenaline is released by the autonomic nervous system. And autonomic means that you cannot voluntarily influence it. So if you walk outside and you are robbed on the street, you will have a heart rate of 160 and your blood pressure will be sky high within seconds. But if I ask you now to increase your heart rate, you cannot do that. You cannot voluntarily modulate that. And with the techniques of Wim Hof, we show that he was able to increase his adrenaline levels to very high concentrations, even higher than people that go bungee jumping for the first time. That was something that we didn't think possible before that.
If we learn to influence our immune system at will, we could potentially use that to treat inflammatory disorders where the immune system is overactive, including Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis. But Wim didn't seem to think that there were any limits to what his method could accomplish, and that made me skeptical. He was eager to show that he could help anyone, including people with cancer, so he invited us to dinner with his friend René Hudde, a famous philosopher of science who had taken up the Wim Hof method after being given 2 months to live.
I don't think Wim is a wonder worker, and I'm not taking him as a wonder worker, a miracle worker. Yeah. I want to forego that people who have cancer think that they are off their cancer next week. That's not the fact. But there are very good things happening.
So this really is kind of on the frontier of science. It's science that we are testing now. It's science that we don't yet have a full explanation for, but we know that it has results worth studying.
Yes, but the real frontier science is looking if this immune system is an autoimmune system, or that we can influence our immune system in the hope for that the immune deficiency diseases decrease. And the results are hopeful. But hopeful, I use the word myself.
Everything that Wim does is based in science, but surely faith in Wim, in nature, and ourselves is also really crucial to accomplishing the things that Wim teaches people to do.
As soon as you put the exercise in the center, then you see the difference between religion and spirituality and science is in fact just the explanation. Religion, spirituality, and science are circling about something that's definitely good for us. Train your body, man.
As a human, what has this done for you?
I'm not easily convinced, but I'm always looking for something that gives me some control in this fucking situation. That we have a life expectancy of 2 months, and then you're out of control. And maybe it's the same as Mr. That autonomous immune system. I would like to be autonomous myself a little. And when there is really something that can be done and proves itself right and makes me feel better, it's
very satisfying.
It was very satisfying. Yeah. It was very satisfying. It's please let nobody who sees this program think that you just get into control and then drive onto some mountain and conquer cancer. I don't like this speech of conquering cancer and doing something, but when you get something to do and to practice, which you understand and which you can do and which satisfies, some feeling of control comes back. And I like that very much.
Hypothetically, if research came back and it turned out that actually your methods weren't working, there was some kind of trick of adrenaline or some other factor that accounted for all of the feats of endurance, what would that make you feel?
I'm okay, I want it to be evidence-based in science. And I don't want to give any false hope to any person in this world. So I'm into science, but who is interested in a natural method that needs only the commitment of a person to make it work? Within just a day or 2 days, you will be able to go deeper into the system and learn to control the immune system, cardiovascular system, the hormonal system, the muscular system, autonomic nervous system, all that. I mean, it's just learning to go back into the inner power, which we all have.
We traveled to Poland for the next step in our training, which would hopefully end with us climbing Mount Śnieżka in our shorts and not getting hypothermia.
In Amsterdam, we had our first little taste of training with the Iceman. But for us to really get into what Wim calls cold, hard nature, he's invited us here to Mount Śnieżka in Poland. This is where he trains all of his big groups, including the 12 scientific test subjects that later proved they were able to suppress their immune response in an endotoxin test.
Control, no hocus pocus, just the magic of your physiology. Make it work, guys! It's your depth, it's your control into your brain. Nobody else's, no blah blah, just make it work. Deeply in, letting go. Your vessel. Charge up the current. Oh, faster. Okay, calm down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully in. Fully out. Well done.
It's really bizarre to be in a room with a bunch of people who are tripping out from breathing. You get these tingly sensations throughout your hands and your body, so it feels like everything's vibrating, and then you get kind of like a sense of euphoria. And for me, that was it. You cried.
Yeah, mine was so weird. All my hands went like this, they just locked and I could not move them, and then I just cried and cried and cried, and then I couldn't stop crying. And I also wasn't thinking about anything sad, it was just like, it just came up.
It's hard to talk about it without sounding really cliche, but when I first did the breathing, in the middle of it, I remember thinking, like, I'm so happy, I just want to get up and hug all of you people, I love you, I love all of you. And I guess that's how you become a hippie, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was amazed to see some of the reactions that people had here. What's happening when people have these kind of big responses?
What we do, we are going deeply into the physiology, past the conditioning. And what appears, people begin to cry, or they release anger. Whatever is hidden deeper than the conditioning. These techniques make it quite able to go really deep.
I guess it's kind of similar to when a psychologist gets someone to relive past trauma and come to terms with it.
We do not need psychotherapy. Fuck off. Just a little bit breathing. Just bring back the control within yourself. Connect back with the body. This time we are able to cleanse it all. All the people say, you know, yeah, you cannot steer life, you cannot do this, and yeah, it's part of life, and it's destiny, and it is fate. Fuck fate, and fuck destiny, and all that. No, this time we learn to control our happiness, health, and strength, and that's not philosophical or sectarian, it's chemistry.
Do you ever get any really negative people who never really succumb to the cause?
I have a very good example of that. Scott Carney is an investigative journalist. He came from America to this place to cut through the crap and the charlatan business and all that. And that was me, you know, the charlatan and the crap. It took him 2 days when he converted into, hey, but this shit is good. And he was standing with us in shorts after 2 days. And now he's, you know, he wants to write a book and bring it to America and everything. Make a big circle. Big circle.
It may look like a Pentecostal sermon at times, but if you hyperventilate for long enough, it's normal to experience euphoria, muscle spasms, and seizures. It's more difficult to imagine how that can make it easier to stand out in the snow for an hour. Maybe, like in the immune response test, it had to do with secreting adrenaline. But whether it was some ancient secret of human physiology or simply brute force endurance and mental focus, it seemed that Wim's method was working on the group. My suspicion was that the secret was the infectious charisma of Wim himself, and just being in his presence was inspiring us to accomplish things we never would have normally done.
You're getting into some pretty deep places with your mind, and although it sounds kind of out there, I mean, when you experience it, I can't even. It's scary / amazing at the same time.
I don't know where, but I was gone, and I saw things, and I didn't even notice that I was screaming and making noises. It was really amazing.
It's just something we don't know we can do. In the east part of the world, it's in the culture to teach people how to do it. In the western part of the world, it's not a culture.
Enlightenment is a form of happiness and health, and it's not as deep and profound as people imagine.
I had a thing called Crohn's disease about 10 years ago. I've been to like detox centres and spent thousands and thousands of dollars on lots of different alternative health improvement things. A lot of them are quite new agey and just a load of bullshit. At least Wim Hof has been working with a lot of different types of scientists and advanced hospital research, so that's the beautiful thing. And you've seen him on the Guinness Book of Records where he's sitting in an ice cube for 2 hours.
So what's going on? We are filling the torches with gas. You know, we are going to the waterfall later on, like a fairy tale.
Wim's method would never have spread beyond himself if it wasn't for his business-savvy son, Einam, who's turned the Iceman into a website, an app, and a global brand.
I sent him some news when I was in Tanzania. Einam. I've been looking around here, but even in these far places where I'm getting, I don't find an asshole big as you.
Yeah, big as me, yeah.
You are still the greatest. Greatest asshole.
The Wim Hof method didn't exist 4 years ago. It was an Iceman doing a trick which was only one person. So Iceman is a superhero. Nobody can be as the Iceman because it's just one person, it's a superhero. Wim Hof is a person like everybody else, and he already gained this fame to attract the attention, to show the whole world that everybody is able to do much more than thought of. So I thought that's a beautiful goal, to bring that back to the people. And yeah, I started doing the platforms, and now here you guys are, you know? I saw the things already from my childhood, what he could do with people. And so I trusted it.
How much of this came out of the tragedy of your mother's death?
Everything started there, because my mom was like psychotic. They constantly her with 11 personalities, and she was never there for us. It was always my dad being there for us. They stuffed her up with pills and to get her outside of society. And she committed suicide. So that was this beginning of my dad exploring for, okay, what's the answer? Where lies all these problems? So he went challenging himself. You know, if you don't have an answer, if they don't have an answer, you're going to find yourself an answer.
I know where I came from a valley. It's like a trauma. She jumped from the 8th floor. That's my grief. I loved her to death, but the world is huge. It's not interested in natural methods so much. It's the money. It's very difficult to bring this to the establishment, but we are on it. So science in time now will take it on, and we do our studies.
Everyone's about to participate in this kind of non-religious ritual. They hold the torch to represent the fire within and then get in the water. Yeah, it might look a little bit sectarian, and I've said it before, I don't think this is a cult, but the thing is, Wim's so charismatic. If he gave me any poison to drink, I'd be the first person to drink it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, there you go, 1. There we go. All in, and let him go.
I'm gonna tuck you in.
I love being tucked in.
We're so cute, Oma.
The group had gone, and Daisy and I were left with our own personal Iceman trainer. In the lead up to climbing Mount Śnieżka, we were gonna need all the extra help we could get.
That was so weird. That was like the trippiest it's been.
Yeah, you get eventually these white hallucinations, but it might just be depriving your brain of oxygen, and I don't know if that's good.
Maybe.
Here is the summit, which we are going to get to tomorrow in snow and ice and just in shorts. This is what I did before on the Mount Everest. I was up till here in shorts, coming from 5,200 to 5,800, 6,400, 6,700, 7,500, 700. Over here I was.
He walked up Mount Everest in his shorts. What have you done with your life? We've just done the fun part of the Wim Hof method, which is where we get to do the breathing exercises and make ourselves feel really giddy. And now it's time for the part that everyone hates, which is stripping down to our shorts and jumping in a freezing cold waterfall. The water's running, so it doesn't actually freeze, but the temperature is below freezing. That means this is pretty much the coldest water I'll ever experience.
I like to go back into that pink cold blue. I pay my dues. Oh, getting into that pink cold blues. It's the daily life of rider. Get into it, that's your side. Gonna go. That's a feeling. It's the blues, it's the life.
We've just come out of the freezing cold water. I cannot tell you how cold it was. It was the coldest water I've ever experienced. I can't feel my toes at all. Like, to each one of my toes, the toe next to it feels like a foreign object in my shoe, because I just can't feel them. You just start to think, like, fight or flight mode. I need to get out of this water. This is not where humans are meant to be.
Are we taking a vodka in the sauna?
Yes, of course.
Come on. We know nothing about Poland. Obviously you have like your mission, which is a noble one, but I have to ask, is it not also a bit about the bragging rights of being able to say, I climbed Mount Everest in my shorts?
If I can use it, I use it all the time. But too many records, too many of them have given no real peace within myself. My unrestfulness deeply within, created by not me, but by destiny itself. So I gotta solve this. Until it's at peace and okay, I will keep on. I think the king and the queens, all these funny heads, the thing about that, if you're healthy, electromagnetically, you are able to distinguish a energy field around your head. And the corona
See,
is the
you're doing
crown.
that thing that you always do when I'm really into what you're saying, it's filled with beautiful metaphors, I'm ready to accept you as my leader, and then you say something that I can't quite get my head around. What is an electromagnetic halo?
Oh, that's just the nervous system actually is electrical signals.
Yeah, okay.
And if your brain
I'm
is a little
following you
bit
now.
not fucked up,
Yeah.
then you get a nice electrical field around your head.
Do I have any kind of aura?
Yes, you got it.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it doing? What does it look like?
Oh, wow. Now, wait a minute. Ooh. It's coming. Oh. Yeah.
Fuck you. It's already there, man. You're the king, she's the queen, and that's it. Well done today. And tomorrow even better. Nature calls us, and Mother Nature says, I gotta tuck you in, man. Because of a powerless situation of grief and emotion, and now I got the power. And now I want to take away and show scientifically that depression and all the diseases, almost all the diseases, we are able to learn to prevent them from developing inside the body, because we are able to have a connection direct inside, which goes far deeper than ever thought. Boom! I'm gonna show the world that everybody is able, instead of being powerless, to have power over his own system.
We just stayed in that freezing cold water for 1 minute. And the craziest part is, I feel warm on the inside. It must be the adrenaline or something, but I finally get it. By standing in there and letting the adrenaline rush over you, you don't feel the cold. I could stand out here for a while, but I'm not going to because I might die. But
right now, we are right over here, 750 meters. We go up to 1400 meters, that's the Koppa. From the Koppa we go to the Śliska, and it's cold. So all you have studied, Matt, you are going to need it. And now just don't think, but focus. Trust your body to be able to cope with the elements up there, and you will be able. And with that you are going to show for yourself, hey man, I can do this. Wow!
if you ever wanted a real test of the Wim Hof method, this is it. If you concentrate hard enough, the snow looks like sand and you just feel like you're at the beach.
Exactly, that's the mind. If your mind is on it, then you're quite capable of dealing with the elements.
Yeah, because it is a bit nippy, really.
Yeah. Hey, dzień dobry.
There's a method to this. What I'm doing is breathing in more oxygen than I need, and then breathing out without fully letting go. Doing that 5 times, and on the final breath, squeezing the oxygen into your chest, neck, and head. And that creates either real or illusionary heat. And then you let go. And that's how we get to the top of the mountain. Oh, shit. My crampons. Minor crampon emergency. It's fine. There are a few theories as to why Wim Hof can do what he can do. One is that he has a higher level of brown adipose tissue or brown fat in his body, which is a heat-generating tissue in the body. Studies have shown that people who work outside in the cold have higher levels of brown fat, so it's possible that he's able to manipulate the level of brown fat in his body by exposure to the cold, like we're doing right now. Another theory is that he's able to secrete the hormone noradrenaline at will through breathing and by jumping into cold water. And that adrenaline allows him to overcome coldness and illnesses. Another theory is that he uses a form of meditation similar to the Tibetan Tummo meditation, which by shutting off the activity of the mind, your metabolism gets redirected into generating heat. It's probably a combination of all those three and some as of yet unexplained physiological phenomena as well. But Wim takes it a step further. He says that using his method, you can go deep into the body and actually control your own autonomic nervous system and immune system.
I went to the scientific scrutiny of research and put me to the test, and they saw amazing things. But then they said, you are the Iceman, you are just one test subject. And I said, no, what I can do, anybody can do.
You can just start doing these techniques and you can modulate your adrenaline levels by will. Stress hormones are able to modulate your immune response. There are many diseases that are influenced by your immune system. And you can imagine that it would be of interest if you could modulate that immune response and suppress it, that it might be of benefit for patients with diseases like that.
How did it feel when you finally got recognition from the science world that your methods works?
I cried.
Really?
You know what happens when your wife, whom you love so dearly, she suicides? You don't understand. You just don't understand. You have no power anymore. And finally, because you have been everywhere looking for how to silence the grief, and finally get scientific recognition, that's the time when you break. That's the time when you can relieve. That's the time you can let go. It's when you cry. Look at the cloud.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Wow, mother holy mama. This is nice, huh?
It's amazing what the body can do when you actually force it to go to its limits.
Yes, to its natural ability.
We've crossed the border from Poland into the Czech Republic, and now we're just about to summit the tallest mountain in the Czech Republic in our shorts.
Well done, man. All the way. Good.
Whew. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Once again, back home.
One of the reasons it's been so difficult for Wim to get his method accepted by the scientific establishment is that it's inimical to our society's view of the body and medicine. Wim's figured out a way to influence the immune system without the use of pharmaceuticals, and that could have big ramifications for people with inflammatory disorders. Whether it can be used to cure actual diseases remains to be proven. This is the frontier of science, so it might be many years before we fully understand the implications. We came into this with a heavy dose of skepticism, but within a few days, we were able to comfortably climb a freezing cold mountain in nothing but our shorts. Wim gives people a chance to take back some control over their minds and bodies, and for people who suffer from depression or illnesses, that kind of help can be priceless. What's the final stage in your mission?
Final stage is go back to the grief. Go back to the love, the lost love. I want to bring back love in the world. Love is compiled by happiness, strength, and health. If you radiate good energy because you are healthy, happy, and strong, that's love. So love is my mission. Breathe. It's for free. It's life. It's good.
Quisiera andar en la Sierra Nevada, su pico blanco, ser ilimitada, por ahí me voy.